Hey guys, welcome to Monday. It's been kind of hard not to talk to you a lot. I got back on Thursday. I was supposed to get back on Wednesday, but my flight was canceled. Like, canceled. And I was like, what? Why? So I called and I was told that it was due to weather. There's been a lot of weather here. And while I was gone, apparently there was a lot of hail and stuff like that. So anyway, I got up Wednesday and I start preparing to leave, even though we don't leave till like 7 o'clock. Flight leaves at like 7 o'clock at night. I start getting things ready, and I checked my phone, which Rihanna was on my phone a lot. Now, I won't say a lot, but Rihanna, I did let her use my phone because she would get bored, because my mom doesn't have like massive TV channels. So I would let her use my phone. Anyway, she was having an off phone time. I think she was in the kitchen with my mom. And I checked my phone, and it had a notification from Southwest that the flight was canceled. And I just was like, what is going on? So I called, and she said, yep, it's been canceled due to weather. And I thought, okay, it must be canceled due to Denver weather. But come to find out, it was storms actually going from Austin to Texas that were causing the issue. So anyway, we got to stay an extra day, and that was the day I groomed Angel. So I came home and came back from that, and I was like, Mom, let's go out to dinner. She was like, okay, where do you want to go? I said, I want to go to your favorite place, Jim's. And Jim's is kind of like a diner sort of feel. So we went, anyway, let me start from the beginning. Okay, I'm going to go back. So everything went well. We got a ride to the airport. I got off work in plenty of time to have a comfortable shower and getting ready. No big hurry. My groomer, her boyfriend, is an Uber driver. And normally I don't take Uber, I take Lyft. But I was like, what the heck? I know him. I'm sure it'll be a nice ride. So he gave us a ride. We get there. We go through security. And no problem. Except for Rihanna's bag. Her backpack. And I was like, this is a child's backpack. But they went through it. Well, it took a long time for them to go through it. There were other bags they went through first, and it seemed like it was taking a really long time. And then she had taken this rock with her. My mom gave her this real pretty geo rock, and she was like, I want to take the rock with me to Gigi's. I was like, the rock came from Gigi's. So anyway, the guy was like, mighty nice rock you got in there. Surprised they didn't think that it was going to be a weapon. But anyway. So our flight was good. It was a little bumpy. Rihanna is not fazed in the least about turbulence. She kind of giggles. Other people are like, and she's giggling. So anyway, we had a nice flight. And this is the story. This is the story of the trip. I mean, there's other stories, but let me tell you this one. First of all, I did find one final box of coconut tea in my coffee bar. So I took it to my mom's and we drank half of it there, and I brought the other half back. I'm sorry, Mom, I didn't leave you the rest of the coconut tea, but you know, love only goes so far, right? Just kidding. Just kidding. So when they didn't have coconut tea, I got salted caramel tea. And I didn't like it by itself, but when you steep a bag of salted caramel with a bag of the coconut, oh, that's what's in here. So anyway, I am drinking the last of the coconut. So after I go to the doctor, I'm going to go to Walmart and see if they have it. My cousin, hi Lisa. She actually stopped by Walmart to see if they had any when I was down there, and they didn't. And I think there are other people that like it, and that's what goes on. So we get to the airport, and I'm like, oh, I totally forgot to print anything about the rental car. I don't even know who we have a rental car with. So I call Honey. Thank God he answers. I was like, honey, I need you to go to my computer and print out or tell me what rental car company. He goes, okay, I'll call you back. I was like, wait, you have to do it while we're on the phone because you don't know how to get to the folder that I have it in. So he's like, oh, okay. So anyway, he gets it. It's Advantage. I haven't called them yet. I will be calling them. And so I'm like, cool. So we get our luggage. Now, this is another story. While we're getting our luggage, there is a lady standing next to us, an African American lady. And she looks over at Rihanna and she smiles. And I smile too. And Rihanna noticed that she smiled. Rihanna kind of leans over to her and she says, I really like it when black and brown and white people are together. Me and the lady just looked at each other. And I was like, at least you got a story to tell when you get home. She laughed. We both laughed. And I was just like, where did that come from? I'll tell you the answer to that later because I found out the next day where that came from. So, we get our luggage and we go outside to where we always go to wait for the shuttle to pick us up and take us to the rental car place. And we waited like 15 minutes. And normally you see all these different shuttles from all these different rental car places coming. No rental car shuttles. Other shuttles for like parking garage shuttles, but not so much with the rental car shuttle. So finally I'm like, I'm gonna call and see what the heck. So I call and I am told, well, what city are you in? So I tell them, and they're like, oh no, you need to go back in the terminal. All the rental car places are in the terminal. And I'm like, I've been coming to this airport my whole life. It's not in the terminal. And the guy goes, well, they just changed it. So go back in and go to the 5th floor. So I go back in And I had to ask somebody because I don't know where the fifth floor is. We never had a fifth floor in our airport before. So I was like, where's the rental car places? So he points to the elevators and says, go up to the fifth floor. So I do. And the elevators open up and there's this really cool, like a sky bridge that goes between the buildings, and it's all lighting up different colors, and Rihanna's just thrilled. So we go over there, and like there's like rental cars as far as the eye can see. So I zone in on Advantage, and I go over there, and there's nobody there. There's a sign that says go up to the 7th floor and go to the rental booth and get your car. So I was like, okay. So off we go. We're like asking people, where do we go? And they told us. So we go and we get there. And we get up to the floor in the parking garage. And I'm like looking around for the sign that says Advantage. And finally I see it. And it's really far. But I'm like, okay, Rihanna, that's where it's at. Come on, let's go. And she had been just fabulous. No problem at all. She's just the greatest traveler. Even though it had been a while since she had traveled, she's really good. So we go, and as I'm getting closer, I'm like, I don't see a light on in that booth. I get to the booth, and there is no light on in the booth. But there is a person. And I said to the person, I was like, it looks like you're closed, but I have a reservation. He goes, sorry, we're out of cars. You'll have to go back to inside the building. And I was just like, I had a reservation. My car should be ready. He's like, I'm sorry, ma'am, we're out of cars. And it was Memorial Day weekend, I will tell you. So, but I had a reservation. So, remember the part where I said it was as far as my eye could see? Yeah, we had to go all the way back, get in the elevator, go down, go across the sky bridge, go back to the... So I go to the first booth, and they're like, or the row of rental car people, they're like, we don't have any cars. Next person, we don't have any cars. Next person, we don't have any cars. And I was like, I walk up to the Avis guy, and I'm like, I know you have cars because I saw up there a whole bunch of cars, and it said Avis under there, so you got cars. He's like, yes, we do. Okay. So, Avis cars. Now he tells me what kind of cars they have and how much they are. And of course, they are $100 more than the car I had reserved, of which I still have to call tomorrow. And I was like, that's fine. Just give it to me. And we get the car. We go out to finally get the car. And I'm like really appreciative. I'm really thanking him, and I'm really happy. So we get to the car, and we put our luggage in the car. And Rihanna gets in the car, and I get in the car. And I've got this key thing. He's like, the keys are in the car. Well, I had to find the key thing so I could pop the trunk. So I found the key fob. It was in the cup holder. I pushed a button, opened the trunk, got the stuff loaded in. Rihanna's in the car. We're all ready to go. I get in the car, I pick up the key thing, and there's no key. There's no key. I'm like, oh my God, did we get the only car that has no key? What do I do? I am not walking back over there. So I called Honey, and I'm like, he didn't answer. I called him twice. He didn't answer. So I'm like, oh my God, I'm on my own. And I figured out you have to push the button to start the car. So I was like, oh, okay, push the button. Push the button. Nothing happened. Push the button. Nothing happened. Pushed it again. Okay, you have to push it 3 times and then, click your heels and it goes? No. So I'm like, oh my God, I am not walking back over there. So I tried to call Honey again. No answer. So I'm like, oh, I feel so alone. So finally, I put my foot on the brake. Don't know why. And I pushed the button. Why didn't I hear it start? Because it was a hybrid. So you don't hear shit. You don't hear nothing. It is like, it's like you have earplugs in. And I saw, though, that the little light came on. There was a little dial thingy to start it. I mean, to turn it to drive or reverse or whatever. And I saw it light up. So, I'm still learning here. I turned it to drive because there was nobody in front of us. And it went. I was like, oh my God, this is the craziest car. But it was super nice. It was super clean. It only had 9,000 something miles on it. I was a happy woman with this car. So we get to my mom's, and it's awesome. And I could tell she was like so happy to see Rihanna. I mean, she was happy to see me too, but she was really happy to see Rihanna. And per Rihanna's normal, Rihanna has to go around and investigate her whole house. And she did. And Angel was there. You guys got to see Angel. And Angel looked surprisingly good, considering my mom has not taken her to a groomer since I brought her in December. My mom says she's been cutting her hair. And I have to tell you guys this funny story so that you can understand about my mom and dogs. So when I think I was 19, my appendix ruptured. And I was working at Pizza Hut as a waitress when you used to go to Pizza Hut and go there and eat your pizza. So I was working as a waitress, and I started feeling really sick during the lunch shift. So I told my manager, I feel really bad. I need to go. She's like, you can't leave unless you find somebody to cover for you. Well, the only person I could find to cover for me was my best friend. And my best friend, she said she couldn't do it because she had too many hours or something like that. So she was like, sorry, you're just going to have to stay and work it. So I stayed and worked it. And I was 19. I didn't know any better. And so when I got off work, rather than go to a hospital, at 19, who thinks they need to go to a hospital? I didn't go. And by the next morning, I called my mom and I was like, Mom, I need to take me to the hospital. And it turns out that my appendix had ruptured and I needed emergency surgery. And I was in the hospital for 6 weeks. And at the time I had 2 cockers, a black one and a buff one. And my aunt had sent money for my mom to get me flowers. I was like, Mom, please don't get me flowers. Please, could you take my dogs to the groomer with the flower money? Because I think my aunt sent like $50. Now, mind you, this was a long time ago. This was like 82, 83, so right around there. So, my mom said, okay. And then didn't do that. What did my mom do? She took that money and got me flowers. And she washed the dogs herself in the shower. Not even the bathtub, in the shower. Well, my mom is not a dog connoisseur. So, she bathed them without brushing them. After she bathed them, she didn't brush them. And they were a matted disaster. And they ended up having to be shaved. They had to go to the groomer anyway. I believe my mom paid for it and got them shaved. But I was like really upset that my dogs were shaved, because I've never had a shaved dog in my life. So that was that little story. How did I get off on that story? I don't even remember. I'll have to go back and watch this video and find out how I got there. So anyway, we had a nice evening. Then the next day was my sister's birthday. My sister's name is Beverly. I don't know why, but when she was younger, when I was living at home, we used to call her Beverly Oats. I don't know why. So we're going to this Mexican restaurant called Lupita Tortilla. And we get there and everybody's like so happy to see Rihanna. It's just lots of fun because everybody's so happy to see her. And she eats it up. So we sit down, we're talking to each other, we're telling stories, and I was like, oh my gosh, you'll never guess what happened at the airport when we went to get our luggage. And I told him the story of Rihanna and what she had to say to the African American lady. And my brother-in-law, Danny, says to her, Rihanna, where did you learn that? And she said, it's what Martin Luther King said. And we all just looked at each other. We were like, oh my God, she's really learning stuff in school and it's sticking, and we're so happy. So that was the story behind that. So later on, I forgot this part. We're walking through the airport. I'm pretty sure it was the airport. And she sees these images on the wall of like past presidents and famous people from history. And she's like, and they have like a write-up about each person. And this huge wall. It's like we had to walk quite a ways to get past this huge wall. So she's like, look, Grandma, those are biographies. And I mean, I just had this beaming moment inside of excitement that she is really learning, and it was just a proud grandma moment. So anyway, you guys saw the luncheon we had at Lupita Tortilla. My mom and I were not big fans of this place at all. The food we didn't like it. My sister's family really likes it, and it was my sister's birthday, so that's what really mattered. But my mom and I, not so much. So then we stopped at Target and looked for some stuff for Rihanna, and my mom wanted some ice cream for at home. Well, it turns out later she told me, I haven't had ice cream in a long time, but since you were here, I felt like I would splurge. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm glad we splurged. So anyway, there's so much to tell. And we're at 25 minutes already. So that was full day one. So let me come back later. I've got to go to the doctor. Boop, boop. Let's see. It's coming along. I mean, I used to only be able to do that. So now we're at that. But this hand just seems gigantic to me. I experienced a lot of pain my first day back at the shop. Like a lot. Like on fire. Like I wanted to cry while I was grooming. So I'm wondering, because I didn't use it as much for 5 days, if it got weak again. But I'm going to talk to the doctor about it. You can talk to the doctor about this one. The good thing about this one, he gave me a cortisone shot when I had the surgery on this one. And it still feels pretty good. And I'm going to tell him that. Because normally by now, I would have to have another shot. And I'm allowed 3 shots a year. And my intention was to get another shot in this today. But I'm not going to do that. I'm going to hold off and wait until I need to. Okay, bye. I got to go. Running out of memory. Bye. The doctor. And this is what I wore. Because I know that you're really interested in what I wore. But I went to Walmart after the doctor. And look what I found. That's it. I went to the rich people Walmart over there by the doctor, and they had 4 boxes. A box lasts me, how many are in here? 18. Lasts me about 10 days. So that will last me about 40 days. 4 boxes. And look at these scents I got for the wax. Papaya Passion. I opened it up and smelled it. I was like, yeah, I gotta have. So I got 2 of these. And then I saw this and I was like, oh, coconut lime. Oh yeah. So I got 2 each of those. I don't think I got anything else very exciting except I got a new bill notebook. I got black because black is like a sad color. So bills are sad. But I found these and I've never seen these at my Walmart before. Hey. She looked at me like, what? So look at these. These are just like regular, I call it typing paper. But I got these at Walmart for $2.47. And I thought these would be great inside of journals. Okay, so happy about that. I really don't think I got anything else very exciting that you guys would be interested in. But I was so excited about the toasted coconut that I was like, I have got to tell them. I got 2 new nightgowns you will be seeing. Because it's starting to get warm. So I got this one. And these are up to almost $15. These used to be $11.88. And this one. So, all right. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Oh, I'll tell you about the doctor later. Bye. It's thundering outside. And if you know me at all, you know I am in heaven when it is stormy, rainy, snowy, anything but sunny. So I went to the doctor. Doctor was like, okay, you got to stretch this muscle. See how your hand wants to like fold in. He's like, you gotta stretch that muscle. Look what it does to my thumb when I push it. So it's like, you gotta just, it's gonna be uncomfortable, but you gotta just sit there while you're watching TV or whatever and just push it. But he said, other than that, I'm gonna release you, go off into the world and have a wonderful hand. And he said, if you need us, you know where to find us. And they had just moved to a new office, and it was like 25 times as big as the old office. And I was like, holy cow. And he was like, yeah, but you only went to one office. We actually had 2 locations, and this is combining both locations. I was like, oh, okay, well, that makes more sense. So anyway, oh, and then he goes, did you see the boy did you see the boy? I said, the boy who brought me in, he looked like he was 14. He's like, that's my son. He actually just turned 18. And I was like, well, he is awful handsome, and he did a really good job bringing me in here. So that was cute. But anyway, I haven't told you guys what I'm working on. I'm working on a journal with this beautiful paper. And yeah, I'm enjoying myself. I have another journal. Is it a journal? When it's an altered composition book, is that really a journal? I don't know if that's really considered a journal, but that's what I'm working on. I just whipped my husband's dog because she has gotten into this very bad habit of ripping stuff up. And the one thing she has not messed with is our couch in the living room, or our bed, of course. And also the couch is on the back porch. Now, she's eating the cushion on the couch that was out by the building. Anyway, bottom line, caught her in the act, whipped her good. I use my hand. There's only so much this hand can take. This is the bad one. This is the better one, but still not good. So don't think that, she's bleeding or anything. I mean, look at her. She's fine. Shiva, tell everybody you're fine. Did you get in trouble? Did you get in trouble? Are you a bad girl? Are you a bad girl? Okay, she still loves me. Okay, well, anyway, back to the story at my mom's. So the next day, we just went to lunch with my sister. And then we went to Goodwill. It was the worst Goodwill ever. Like ever. It was terrible. And then we went home. And Ryan and I painted rocks while my mom took a nap. And, usually in the evenings, we'd have dinner. And I'd get to really just have a nice visit with my mom. And Rihanna would either watch TV or she would play games. And we just had a really, really nice time. I have to be honest, I was very concerned about my mom's health because her blood pressure had been really, really like 224 over something was Mother's Day. And she was getting the meal ready for everybody when they got there. And I was like, no, people, my mom is 86 years old. She can't be preparing a giant meal. No. You guys got to get there early and cook the meal, or you got to bring the food. My mom is too old to be preparing a meal for a gigantic amount of people. But my mom was way better than I thought I was going to find her. And that was a relief. There was one evening I was sitting there and I just broke down like right there. um, I was like, Mom, you gotta take care of yourself. I can't be without both my parents. I just can't. Please, please take care of yourself. And she was like, well, what's causing this? Why are you upset? And I don't know. I was just overcome with this feeling of concern and selfishness that I couldn't be without her. I'm just not ready. So I instructed her to take her medicine, to go to the doctor, to do everything that they say. And there you go. She was like, okay. She's such a strong lady. And I couldn't be more grateful that she's my mother. Just, I hit the parental jackpot. I've said it on my channel many times. And I probably will say it many more. But she and my dad are just the best ever. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. This is weird. This made me feel like I'm getting really old. So I always go to the cemetery. And when it was my sister's birthday luncheon, we were really close to the cemetery. So I asked my mom, I said, do you mind if we go by the cemetery? She's like, no. My mom doesn't go to the cemetery. It ain't her bag. She says he's not there. And, but anyway, she said, sure. So we went over there. I parked where I always park. I got out. I walked around. I could not find his headstone. And I went over to the car. I was like, Mom, this is where it is, right? I mean, I come here every time. This is it, right? And she was like, yeah, this is it. And I couldn't find it. So I called my sister, and they were already too far closer to their house. And she said that she would stop the next day when she came to meet us for lunch. So she did, and she found it. And I literally walked around. I mean, my dad's headstone is like right as you come in the cemetery. It's like the first tree, boom, there it is. So it's not like it's like in the middle of hundreds and hundreds of headstones. I don't know how I missed it, but she sent me a picture of it, and I was just so grateful that I didn't have to stress and go through what needed to happen to, with the cemetery people, because there would have been a war. So anyway, that happened. I did see Pam, my BFF. I'd like to say she's doing well. She's still grieving. She's still hurting. She's very unhappy, very angry. And I don't know how to help. And that's a really difficult feeling. I messaged I messaged I messaged her and kind of gave her an out and was like, hey, if you're not up to meeting with me, that's not a problem. I know that you love me, and you know that I love you, so if it doesn't work out, that's fine. And she was like, no, we'll meet. So we did. We had lunch at Papa Do's, and lunch was really good. And then after I had dropped Angel off before, and her girl that works for her gave her a bath and blow dried her. And then I went over to Pam's and gave her a haircut and took her home, and my mom was elated. So you guys saw pictures of her. And I guess there wasn't anything else too terribly exciting I can think of. Um, I'm sorry. I'm looking at Facebook Marketplace. I apologize. I was not giving you my full and undivided attention. But I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. I'm sure this is going to be a very long Monday vlog. Um, I'm feeling very chatty, and hopefully there will be a lot more to come this week. I kind of want to tell you something, but don't want to tell you something. I'll think about it. I'll let you know on the next one. All right. See you guys later. Bye.